Okay, let's see what Sable's up to in her hovercraft. Is this the finale? Maybe. What's up, Sable? I think I just like... You can hear Peter hit the water.
Let's get to work.
This is one crazy Uber. That's a terrible joke.
So where's this base you talked about?
Oh, the frame rate's freaking out. What the fuck? Oh, that was the blueprint.
So much cooler than mine.
It was fucking invisible. No, I'm not buying that. There's no way, even if it were invisible, that someone wouldn't discover it. You telling me that nothing tried to, like, you know, float that way? No other boats, nothing? Come on now. That's ridiculous. Radar, it probably has crazy sci-fi disturbance
this
tech on
floating
it.
fortress thing, but now that all of New York City has seen it, Hammerhead will probably be here soon.
I am counting on it, so let us work quickly. I have acquired the Class 5 laser array. We need to calibrate it to prevent it from overheating.
Lucky for us, I'm working on my master's in calibration. Let's do this.
What?
Okay, what's first?
Pull the housing array into place.
On it. Ah. Whoa, nice laser.
Housing locked.
Done and done.
All
We
right.
are not done.
Oh,
We must reset the targeting field aerials.
sure thing.
How-
I have no idea what you're talking
Yeah, how
about.
do we do that?
Exit the hangar and navigate to the top of the nearby transmitters.
Alrighty. So, we should talk about the strategy with Hammerhead, don't you think?
What is there to talk about? We find him. Then focus the laser on the plate in his head. The laser will heat the carbon steel to critical temperature, which will rearrange its molecular structure.
And soften it so I can knock him unconscious. I get that part, but how do you know it
Whoops.
won't, melt his brain?
When the wolf attacks the sheep,
He risks getting shot by the
shepherd.
Okay, well, Shepard, just remember my no-killing rule, okay?
Is this like a... If this is like the last bit of content in the entire game...
Done. How's it look?
Systems appear functional. Now we must test the targeting and power levels.
Cool. Wait, this doesn't involve shooting me, does it?
Not yet. But I do need you to launch those targets.
Right.
What I was saying is, if this is like the last bit of content in Marvel Spider-Man, is this supposed to be like a throwback? We're back to doing the tower stuff.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
Bombs away! Hit it! Pull!
Just a few more.
Cool with me, this is fun!
Oh, there are more.
Here comes another one! Nice shot! Is this how modern militaries do skeet shooting? Oh, can we do one more? Please?
You're a child.
Yeah, well, we're all children on the inside. Whoa!
Did those get restocked?
Back. Just one more thing.
Aww.
On my way.
We must adjust the gyroscopic navigation stabilizer
In order to compensate for the weight of the laser. Go to that terminal and wait for me to activate the system. System ready.
I'm going in.
I'm in.
Okay, that should do it.
Oh! You look so stupid.
You two teaming up now?
This is ridiculous.
Cute. But it ain't gonna do no good.
Sable? Use a
This
little
is
help
ridiculous.
Laser is down.
here. Can you fix it?
I am trying.
Okay, I'll just do the Hammerhead waltz for a bit.
That did nothing.
Personal.
Attack Hammerhead to set up for Sable's laser strike. This isn't a good idea.
For showing me what I've been doing wrong for years. If I want to rule this city, I gotta modernize, evolve.
That's it.
Now that I'm involved, it's time for me to be the boss I always should have been. Just as soon as I kill you both.
Remember when he was like, oh, I'm gonna bring back the good old days.
Laser is back online.
Finally, now I can get in close.
Look at me! You can't kill me! I need reinforcements! Now!
Oh, he's gonna bring in ads. Oh, get the fuck out of here with this. Where did they even come from? I'm almost dead. I just used my suit power.
Bring him back to Earth! Eat this!
No, I don't think so. Yeah, he was all like being traditionalist in the second DLC. He was like, oh, the good old days. Yeah, the good old days of when I was a cyborg.
Love your tech, Sable. Too bad I gotta use it to take you out.
Keep your distance.
Ow.
Do not let him use his head.
Good tip.
Yeah, I gotta take out the other. Oh, shit.
You think you're hurting me? Ah,
A little bit.
nothing hurts me no more.
Oh,
You guys just don't give up, do you?
no, I do not.
That, but I'm still gonna kill you.
Oh. Ah, come on. Backswing.
Locking in.
I didn't even mean to do that.
He's down. Hit him.
Keep it coming, Bug. Still no respect. What's it gonna take?
You know what I respect? A guy who knows when to quit.
Commencing bombing run. Damn.
I missed.
Keep him coming. I'll make sure the next one hits.
Okay, what's the plan now? Try electric web.
I dropped the bomb. You throw them at him.
Okay.
It's too strong. I need to disable it first. If I grab those bombs, I can use them to
The shield is down.
Oh, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. Oh, no, 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 no. I walked right
Come
into
in
it.
your way, Bug.
Good work. Now hit him.
This is a fight you ain't gonna win.
Oh, yeah? I bet I do win it. I have the magical power of infinite retries. Oh, no.
I gotta be quicker.
Just wait for Sable to drop some more bombs.
Let's see you dodge this.
Oh, I did it.
His shield's down. Indestructible, huh? I think not.
Take this.
I see it. Moving in.
Gotcha.
Now's my chance.
You're gonna regret that.
Nah, but you will.
You two got skills. I give you
Oh.
one chance. Join my crew or die.
I'll take what's behind door number 3.
And just use some suit powers. Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah, try it.
I just heal. Take care of this guy.
Coming
Boom.
in.
Miss me.
You fight good. But
Ah,
not as good
crap.
as me.
Come on, Sable. More bombs, please.
Yay, teamwork.
I'm dead. Ah.
Now hit him.
Can't let him hit me.
Gotcha, motherfucker.
Shoot him.
I am trying. Not now. Not now. The laser is down.
Ah, no, I can't do it.
I have an idea.
Can't wait much longer.
Hold him.
Then what?
Get ready to jump.
Wait, what?
That was overkill. He's totally gonna like Terminator this, isn't he? Yeah, look at this shit. I just let him cook.
That was fun. Hey, you have dinner plans? I know this great pizza place.
I must return to Simcaria.
Right.
Aw.
You have a war to fight.
I do not like to fight. Do what I have to in order to help my people.
I know. That's what heroes do.
I am no hero. But you have taught me a few things.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Like how to disarm my enemies with bad jokes.
Actually, they're good jokes, but I understand humor can be subjective.
Thank you, Spider-Man. For everything. I don't do hugs.
Yeah, right. Of course. Hey, can I get a lift back to the city? I'd swim, but it'd take forever to get the river smell out of my suit.
Well, there he goes. I guess that's the end of Spider-Man. What a wild ride. No, wait, there were 2 trophies, right? Now, I guess one is just for... Oh, they shoved this in. Oh, they had time, right? Yeah, that happened, unfortunately, after I had finished recording the main game, but before it had stopped uploading. I was like, well, that's unfortunate. Hey, he got in on this game, though. Right? Right on time. We knew it was going to happen someday, but still, it's a bummer. I guess that wraps Marvel Spider-Man outside of the likely stinker they're going to throw in there. Which, God knows what that could be. It could be anything. It could be related to Yuri. It could be a reminder that, like, hey, Spider-Man 2 is totally going to happen. Fingers crossed. It must. They've teased it so much, plus this game has sold, like, gangbusters. Way more... I wonder if it's the best-selling PS4 game for 2018. It sounds like crazy because it's like, well, you would think that God of War and even Red Dead, even though it's multi-plat, it's like, those are more critically acclaimed. It's like, even if Spider-Man's like a B+ game, it's fucking Spider-Man. It's one of the most lucrative IPs in the world across any form of media. And that's why it doesn't have to be A+ great. As long as it's good, people will buy it. Unfortunately, all those like licensed bullshit ones, like the ones based on the Amazing Spider-Man, like that doesn't sell. But this is a good idea. Also, they had 3 DLCs. They did not fix the fact that that circle prompt is totally not centered. I know it's not centered because I went and edited the first DLC and I zoomed in on it not being centered, and it really bothered me. I knew it. I could tell. So the DLC, some thoughts on it. I have no idea how long these credits are. They must be much shorter than the main game, right? They're not that good, the DLCs. This one's better. I'll admit this one was better, more interesting. Could have done without the screwball stuff, but every facet of this one was better in terms of like the side content, the bases. I think how this one was written, I think was a lot more entertaining, though a little bit ridiculous with the whole Hammerhead cyborging up thing. I don't know. But unfortunately, I think the writing in the DLC across all 3 is like really weak compared to the main game. Not until like I had beaten the main game and had some time to like settle on it did I realize like, wow, this game's writing's like really good. It's really, really good, in fact. The narrative of the main game is like one of the best things about the game, period. And it's surprising because it's not necessarily what people were expecting. People just wanted, hey, good open world Spider-Man game where the swinging's good and the punching is good. And whether or not the story was like really great is like, I think secondary on a lot of people's minds. Is like a superhero story, whatever. But they did a really good job with the story. And I think in reflecting on that, especially when I kind of was like bias confirmed on that by the Giant Bomb end of the year deliberations for the game of the year. And anytime Spider-Man was brought up, that was a big point, that the writing was really, really freaking good. In that it was better than even like the gameplay kind of was in a way. At least in terms of like the fact that the game itself, and I said it in playing the main game, fell into like that trap of just doing open world stuff for the sake of doing it. The Taskmaster stuff, all the tokens and etc. A lot of that's like, a lot of the stuff in the open world is really good and it's fun to move around in, but at the same time it's like kind of a rehash of what you'd expect to find in a game of this genre that we've seen for, 10 to almost 15 years. At least like, 12 years or something. So all that kind of takes the game from being like, it could have been masterful to just being like solid. But the writing kind of makes up for it because it's so freaking good. And then you get to the DLC and it all kind of betrays the main game. It's certainly not like the worst season pass I've ever seen. It's not like it destroys the game or anything. But it's not as good as the main game at all. And I've heard like some things like, how people complain about DLC and they say things like, well, it's just been, cut out of the main game and they're selling it to you for $20 or whatever. I don't think that's what happened with this one. Now, I think some of these ideas might have maybe been pitched for the main game and just weren't fleshed out. Like, you could take the entire Hammerhead storyline and say that it's somewhat similar to like what we did with Tombstone in the main game. And I said in the main game, like, it needs more stories like that one, more developed side stories that, even if they touch on like a minor villain, would be really cool to see. That's kind of what the DLC did. But at the same time, because it wasn't as fleshed out, it felt a little rushed. So I don't agree with like the idea that they cut this out of the main game. Not at all. You can see the difference in quality. Like I said, maybe at one point it was pitched for it, but clearly it was never fleshed out enough to make it into the main game, which unfortunately means that it wasn't fleshed out enough to be like stellar DLC. I've played a lot better than this. But overall, I mean, I don't know. I said it when we beat the main game too, that undoubtedly, unquestionably, I know for sure that sometime probably this year, Sony's going to announce some sort of gold edition or a game of the year or whatever of this game that's just going to include the DLC, and it's totally still going to be worth it, in my opinion. Hopefully it's not $60, maybe it'll be like $40. But if they do that, still totally worth it. Totally a good game. I think the DLC adds like some cool stuff, you get the suits. It's, I don't know. I feel okay about it, but I'm not going to deny that I'm a little empty. And I know that what I just played over these last 14, 15 videos, not nearly as good as the main game. And that's pretty much it. Ben Diskin, when did you get in there, dude? Seeing some familiar names in this roll call here. So I think the last thing to do here is, I'll let these last voice actors play out. And, if it doesn't seem to be the end, some of these are repeating. Like, I think Fred there, he was also Rhino. I guess this is getting them in for their, minor roles or something. But, hey, there's Keith Silverstein. He did a big good job as Hammerhead, though I can never unhear Shido. Wow, are you telling me Matt Mercer's in this game? That's news to me. Truly, Matt Mercer was the Marvel Spider-Man. I can't believe how many voice actors are technically getting credited, because I kind of figured that Matt Mercer claimed most of this. I said that his pay is going up. He's getting more expensive every year. I would have to think, he's done so much work. So if you're gonna hire Matt Mercer to be in your video game as an extra or like a minor character, you're gonna get your money's worth. Make sure you use that Matt Mercer as often as you can. He'll voice all your minor characters, all your grunts and whatnot. He'll do it. All right, I guess it's time to hit the skip. I mean, oh, we're at additional thanks. Oh no, we made it to the end. I did it. I defeated the credits. Music's a little different. No, it's the same. I just heard like an errant bass line. I think we're at the end. Can I make it go faster? Can I do like the... Ah, I can. Congratulations, everyone. We would like to thank each individual at Sony Interactive Entertainment for their contributions, support, and dedication to the success of Spider-Man, with special recognition to the executive management team, including localization services, and she went to all the people that localize this into different languages. Special thanks to Sony Entertainment. Just like to give everyone their credit. Music was solid. This game scores okay. It's really appropriate, but I wish they like used more, you know, like less orchestra and more like soundtrack stuff. Like the song that plays at the very beginning of the game when Peter leaves his apartment to go do the fist thing. I don't know whose song that is. I assume it's licensed, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But I was like, oh, I'm into this vibe. This feels very Spider-Man-y. But we never really got anything else like that. From that point on, it's like very orchestral. That's the word, right? That's the adjective for it. Don't use that one in my everyday vocabulary very often. Just put that one back in the bank. Wow, PDSG is getting a lot of play here. Creative Product Services Sound, that's what it stands for. Japanese voiceover. Wow, there really is a Japanese Spider-Man. Neat. Shocker, that big loser. I fought Shocker in New Game Plus recently, like a day ago. It was fun. Actually, it wasn't. It was kind of hard. It was the first time that the New Game Plus on Ultimate had gotten, like, actually difficult. I had to retry that boss fight a few times. There's not a big margin of error. Kind of like the DLC, to be honest. I need to talk to somebody. I know at least a few people that have played through the Spider-Man DLC. I'm going to hit them up and be like, hey, was that like really hard or am I crazy? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm losing it. I cannot believe how much they shoved into this freaking credits. Remember when I was like, we're at the end? No, we're not. We were not at the end. I'm pretty sure it's the full fucking credits from the main game. It must be at this point. It might be longer, given that there were probably some people who worked on the DLC that weren't in the main game. Like, I don't know if Keith Silverstein was voicing anyone in the main game. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. Also, this is Black Cat's song playing. I noticed when she reappeared. Which, by the way, was like kind of lazy. I was not super into the fact that they like wrapped up that plot line of being like, is she still alive? Yep, she is, and she's gone. That was it. There was like no continued play there. Would it have been so much trouble had she like hung around and been like, yeah, I'll help you and Silver Sable. Then Spidey could, you know, team up with a couple of silver-haired beauties and take down Hammerhead. That would have been alright. Oh, you know what I think? I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say that the Stinger's going to have to do with Miles. Yeah, something happened. Was it on video? It might have been. But I could have sworn Peter said something like, yeah, when we were doing the investigative stuff, I think Peter was like, hey, I'm going to send you an address later. And Miles is like, oh, yeah, awesome. So I'm assuming that's going to be the Stinger, given that there was no follow-up to that? Maybe. I mean, that was the Stinger to the main game as well, so I guess it would kind of make sense. The sequel, if and when it happens, it's going to be interesting how they're going to like work in Miles like becoming a Spider-Man. I don't really know much about like the media that Miles is Spider-Man in. So I don't really know how like the process works, the passing of the torch. I don't really know for sure, but I kind of just figured that at least in some of them that something bad happens to Peter. But maybe I'm wrong. Is there one where they like do the same thing together? Where they're like partners? I hope so. We got the Foley studio back in here. That's nice. NVIDIA, please continue to make better graphic cards. I know people aren't crazy about the ray tracing. I'm not in the market for one just yet, though. I got a budget one last year. But hey, once I start getting paid real soon, maybe I'll build a new PC next year. Hey, we're in memory of Steve Ditko, who, with the stroke of his pen, made the world amazing. I think that was in the original credits. Come on, Miles Spider-Man. Yeah, it's happening.
Ready?
I think the web shooters are a little tight.
Get used to it. Just try to keep up.
That's as much as you're gonna get. Huh? Oh, I'm back in the open world. I guess that completes the DLC. Congratulations, you have finished the Silver Lining story. This concludes the City That Never Sleeps saga. Great job, hero.
Okay, Hammerhead's
Cyborg
finished,
Spider-Man.
but his men are still out there. A spider's work is never done.
Spider Cop's work. Oh, but now that feels sad with Yuri gone. So let me check, let's look at the DLC tab and see if I have 100%. I sure do. Well, the last thing to happen would be like a little post call. We got one from Yuri in the main game. I don't think it's going to happen this time. Maybe a Jameson podcast? Something? We're going to end flaccidly just like we did the main game? Again? We can also check trophy progress. I should only be missing, I think, 2 of them. I'll do that. Let's check trophies. Yeah, that's the gold. So it looks like I got everything for the DLC. The Wages of War. So that was aiding a human mission? That was the one that we were missing? Or no, it was this one. Complete the 1 + 1 = win mission. Okay. So the only 2 trophies I don't have for all of the game is completing a New Game Plus playthrough and beating the game on Ultimate, which I've been working on. I don't know, like, obviously I'm not going to do it on video. I don't know when I'll finish it, but... Hey, there's J. Jonah.
Today is a fine day in New York City. At long last, Hammerhead has been taken down for good, cyborg parts and all. I will even give Spider-Man and Silver Sable an ounce of credit. They did, after all, land the final blow. However, while the mainstream media trips over itself to heap lavish praise on these vigilantes, allow me to give you a dose of facts. Hammerhead would have never gotten this far had it not been for Silver Sable leaving behind all her gear in the city. And don't get me started on Spider-Man stoking the fires of a gang war and forcing a decorated police captain into administrative leave. So sure, they cleaned up the mess, but they were also the ones that made it.
Oh, J. Jonah. I wonder if I have all of them. Is there a way to check? I think it just lists like how many you have. Let's say it's under collections. Also, we gotta look at that suit. JJJ archives. Oh, it only counts them per the DLC. That's a pain. So I take that means that when I go back to the main game, it's not gonna actually show me all of them. Let's do that. Switch over to the main game. So I'm gonna have to switch between all the tabs. That means I'm gonna have to look it up and be like, okay, how many are there for each DLC and for the main game? I should have all of them. And I don't think you can miss them. I think like they spawn eventually. So this is back in the main game. Hey, I think, yeah, this is where they spawned us when we beat the main game. I don't know, maybe it's my imagination. So let's see, does it show you in your collections? I don't think it does, yeah. I think these are all just the ones that are in the main game. So there's got to be like, what, a good almost 100 of them? Maybe there are 100. There was, what, 7 in that final DLC? So 77 plus, I don't know, maybe 20, 21? Pretty close to it at the very least. Right, the suit. The suit, the suit, the suit. This is the Spider-Verse suit. I should go see that. And here's your cyborg one. Which I don't know what this is from, but that looks rad. So I think I have every suit that's offered for the game, at least so far. I know there's been some rumors that they might add some stuff. I don't know how that's panned out. Who knows? Maybe something's been announced that ever since I recorded this, maybe something was announced by the time this goes up. I'm not sure. I keep seeing a headline that's like, could there be a Fantastic Four thing? Like, I don't know. That seems a little far-fetched.
I've expressed my concern with Sable International's heavy-handed tactics. Our next caller witnessed them firsthand. Tell us what happened.
A bunch of us were protesting Sable, standing up for our rights like you always say, and suddenly they just start beating on people and arresting us for no reason.
This is always the risk of giving anyone too much power. They abuse it. Be aware that if you stand up to them, there may be consequences. It's up to you whether that's a risk worth taking. For me, clearly it is.
The crazy thing was, Spider-Man set us free.
Yes, well that's what happens when the supposed authorities start breaking the law. Next to them, other lawbreakers don't seem so bad. Thanks for calling. We're out of time.
Well said, J. Jonah. We are truly out of time. Well, that does it for Spider-Man. Maybe someday I'll get to play a Spider-Man 2 on this channel. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, I'm gonna miss you, Spidey. Do one last dive for me. I'm gonna hit the building. Whee! See you guys later.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from